a chili puree, you don't have those big chunks of like jalapeno or serrano.
Can you use a hot chili sauce?
Yeah. This one won't overpower. You'll get the heat and a little bit of the chili flavor, but it doesn't have that big vinegariness or like red chilies sometimes have a really bold flavor. This is a little more subtle, but you'll still get the heat. And like with all of my recipes, or with all of cooking, except for baking, because that's more like chemistry. But it's all. There's no rules. It's like if you don't like one thing, if you like more than one thing, if you like more sweetness, like this would be great with a little bit of agave nectar in it. But some people like super savory. You can always experiment. That's the fun thing. That's what I liked about cooking was there's not really any rules. Okay, we'll take a little bit of.
So speaking about recipe, where can everyone find your recipe for the?
You will be able to find it on Monday on havenlounge.com.
Everyone go to havenlounge.com on Monday.
Yes.
You got Chef.
I don't know if our tech person is in tonight, so I'm not promising anything for tonight. All right, so we're going to add some chiffonade of mint. Chiffonade, such a fancy name for thin slice of fresh mint. Okay. And then we're just going to spoon this over the tuna.
How do you feel about crispy shallots on top of that?
I am a big fan of crispy shallots in general, so.
How do people from burning when I'm making my crispy shallots?
That's a time and temperature thing. If your oil's too hot, that's a really quick way to and then they get that really bitter nasty flavor. It's kind of like with toasting garlic. And also with doing crispy garlic, I've found that if you simmer it in milk before you simmer it in milk, just blanch it in milk, you scoop it out, lay it down to just like lightly dry so it's not wet, and then you fry it, huge difference. Yeah.
You don't fry it too long either.
No, but I would go usually 300 to 320 instead of like your standard 350 degrees for frying. Because like both of my fryers are set at 350, but when they do, they fry concha corn, shallots, and a couple of other things for our sushi station, and the fryer always comes down for that. Okay.
What's your favorite appetizer?
Man. There are so many things that I love. That's a really hard one. Usually deep fried though. Don't listen to common threads. Yeah. I run every morning. Yeah, I run through the park, usually 4 to 6 miles. So.
They're being chased.
Yeah, run like you're being chased. Yeah, by fat. And I make liquid. I make liquid nitrogen ice creams at the restaurant, and those are like my big downfall. I'm a huge ice cream fan, and so are the kids at Common Threads. I take the big dewars of liquid nitrogen and pour it into the cream, so it makes this huge smoke explosion, and it's definitely a good show. But the final product is even better than the show. It's so good. It's just so good.
So Chef, I guess you won't be joining us for desserts after this then, right? You're not
Oh, yeah.
a sweet tooth.
Yeah, I definitely want to see what you've got. I've got a huge sweet tooth.
Salt in this dish?
Is there any salt?
Except for the.
That's it.
sauce?
That's it.
Okay.
So now it comes down to plating, and again, it's whatever you want to do. I brought spoons as well because this would make a great appetizer, like past appetizer, just as nice little bites. But you can also, this is instead of a ring mold, it's a little square mold. And this is the china that we use at Haven. I designed it, and my dad made all of it, so keep it in the family.
Chef,
Yes.
where is the Haven?
Haven is on South Beach. We're on Lincoln Road, but not on the tourist. There's the pedestrian part of Lincoln, and then there's the west side of Lincoln. We're on the west side, so we're between Alton and West on Lincoln Road. And then 4 doors down from that is our new taqueria. So there's like fast casual tacos, and then more of a fine dining kind of loungy experience with a big emphasis on like sushi and mixology, great cocktails and stuff.
And if you
It's a lot of fun. It's a good time.
Are you close to the New World Symphony?
Not too far. You can definitely, I'd say about 4 or 5 blocks. 5 blocks. Okay, so this is a quail egg. Yeah. Now, I use these for a couple of different things at the restaurant. We do a duck quail slider. It's a duck burger with foie gras butter, and then a sunny side up quail egg on top. That's very popular. So for that application, I use the whites, but the whites don't taste very good raw. So we're going to take the yolk and set it right in the middle.
How do they fry those yolks? I would think it would be very difficult.
Again, that is a temperature thing. Like if you have your pan at the right temperature and you don't rush it, because like that's a problem with cooking just regular eggs. Like sometimes you'll see these photo perfect sunny side up eggs and you're like, how do you do that? Because usually they're all bubbled out around the sides. There's a kind of brown, but it's really being patient with the egg and starting it at a lower temperature, using like nice clarified butter and just babying it. And when it gets to a nice doneness on the bottom, I finish them in the oven, because that'll.
I'm talking about just the yolk,
Oh, just the yolk.
just the yolk. I have had the yolk on top of steak tartare.
Mhm.
It was fried.
Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, they're frozen. They freeze the yolk, and then they dredge in flour, egg wash, and then usually panko or something else. And then you can fry it, and instead of it cooking through, it's defrosting through. So,
I wonder.
yeah. Yeah, that's a nice way to do it. I hadn't.
It was delicious.
Okay, so now we've got chopped peanuts on here for a little bit of crunch.
Is your restaurant participating in Miami Spice?
We are not, but the thing about Haven is that all of the prices, it's like tapas style. So you can really do any kind of 3-course meal you want, like a sushi roll, a slider, and a skewer, and still be under the $35 for 3 courses. So everything there's a really good deal, and it's definitely a fun way to spend an evening too. Okay, got all these fun things that I can garnish with over here. We'll do pink peppercorns because we talked about that. This is sashimi pepper. This is another one of my favorite peppers. This is, or also called togarashi. This is a Japanese chopped peppers, and there's sesame seeds and hemp seeds. There's a bunch of stuff in there. But it's a nice kind of season all. And then we'll do a little bit of the Maldon salt.
Do you recommend grinding your pink peppercorn when you're gonna eat it, or
I put them on whole.
really?
Yeah, as a nice like pop of flavor. And then I use white pepper, white and black pepper, like in stews and stuff. But the pink peppercorn I usually really reserve for garnish. And then a little bit of micro cilantro. All right, and that's done. We'll do some spoons too.
Do you have a sous chef always?
I do. Now I have a sous chef, a chef de cuisine, and a kitchen manager at the taqueria. So it's nice. You work with someone long enough that you trust them and you trust their palate, and you don't have to be there all the time because you've got another restaurant to be at. So, and that's one of the things about having 2 restaurants and doing this for a while, is that I don't get to cook as much as I love to cook because all the paperwork and all that other stuff that comes with having a business. So then reality hits.
At least they're close to each other, right?
They are close to each other. The office is close, and we're constantly developing new menus and new dishes and stuff. And we're actually just about to break ground on our 3rd location in Fort Myers. So yeah, we signed the lease this week. So yeah, busy.
All the way to Fort Myers, that's gonna be hard to manage.
Yeah, well, we're getting a big apartment that we'll crash at, like, depending on who's there for that week, and then the build out and stuff. So I'll be between. I'll have 2 apartments. A little crazy, but it's going to be fun. The new one is a lot bigger. We're going to do lunch. We're going to do brunch. It's going to be like Haven on steroids. Okay, these are bamboo leaves. These are great for garnish.
How did you get those ready for plated? Did you soak them in water, or did you just use them right out of the package?
Yeah, since we live in Florida, you can go hack at your neighbor's bushes and get the same result. But I do it the legit way and get it from
You did
my
not say
Japanese
that.
purveyor. Yeah.
Nice, I like bushes.
No, seriously, on South Beach, I look at these people's giant bamboos, and I'm like, why am I paying so much for frozen bamboo leaves when it's fresh here? That's local and organic. Okay.
Do you use a lot of sustainable fishes? I've heard about that, but what makes it sustainable?
Depending on